Captain Taeyang Park stood on the bridge of his ship and watched the stars. The Taeguk was not the biggest ship in Earth's fleet. It was not the fastest either, but it was his and he trusted every bolt and wire in her hull. "Captain, we are picking up something strange," said Lieutenant Doyen Kim from his station. His fingers moved across the screens. "It is a signal. Very strong. Coming from the Andara Nebula." Taeyang walked over to look at the data. The signal was not like anything they had seen before. It was complex, layered with mathematics that hurt to look at. But underneath all that complexity was something simple, something desperate. It was a call for help. "Dr. Choi, can you make sense of this?" Taeyang asked. Dr. Hana Choi pushed her glasses up her nose. She had been studying alien languages for 10 years. Ever since humanity had built its first ships that could travel between stars, she listened to the signal again and again. Her face grew pale. "This is from the Galactic Coalition," she said quietly. "I have heard stories about them. 47 different alien species working together. They have technology we can only dream about. Ships that bend space, weapons that can crack planets." "What are they asking for?" Doyen asked. Hana looked at them both. "They are dying. All of them. They are asking anyone who can hear this message to remember that they existed." The bridge went silent. Outside the windows, the stars looked very cold and very far away. Taeyang made a decision. "Send this signal to Earth Fleet Command. Mark it as Priority 1, and plot a course to the Andara Nebula." Doyen turned in his chair. "Sir, with respect, we are just an exploration ship. If something is killing the Coalition, what can we do?" "Someone sent that message," Taeyang said. "That means someone is still alive. And if someone is alive, they need help. That is enough reason to go." 3 days later, Admiral Mireille Song appeared on their screen. She looked tired. The weight of Earth's entire space fleet rested on her shoulders, and it showed in the lines around her eyes. "Captain Park, I have read your report," she said. "Command thinks you are crazy. They think I am crazy for even considering this. The Coalition has never spoken to us. They think we are primitive. To them, we are children playing with fire." "Then why are you calling me, Admiral?" Taeyang asked. Mireille smiled, but it was a sad smile. "Because you are right. Someone is asking for help. We have to try. I am sending 12 ships to join you. It is not much, but it is what I can spare. If you find something you cannot handle, you run." "Understood?" "Yes, Admiral. Good luck, Captain. Earth is counting on you, and maybe, just maybe, so is the rest of the galaxy." The screen went dark. The Taeguk and the 12 other ships jumped to faster than light speed. Space twisted around them in ways that still made Taeyang feel sick, even after 5 years of service. But the jump was fast. They crossed distances that would have taken lifetimes at normal speed. When they dropped back into normal space near the Andara Nebula, they saw hell itself. Ships were burning. Not just one or two, hundreds of them, thousands. They drifted through space like dead leaves in autumn. Some of them were so big they had their own gravity. Some were shapes that human eyes could barely understand. But they all had one thing in common. They were all broken. "Mother of God," Doyen whispered. Hana was crying. She did not seem to notice the tears on her face. "The Coalition. This was the Coalition's fleet. It is gone. It is all gone. There." Taeyang pointed at the screen. "I see live ships. They are falling back. Hana, send them a message. Tell them we are here to help." The reply came in broken English. The voice was strange, clicking and buzzing like insects talking. "Human ship. You must leave. The Voidborn are here. They cannot be stopped. Save yourselves while you can." "We did not come all this way to leave," Taeyang said. "Tell us how to fight them." A pause. Then, "You cannot fight them. We have tried for 200 years. They adapt to everything. They learn from every battle. They are not alive, but they are not dead. They are machines older than most stars, and they are coming." On the screen, new contacts appeared. Millions of them. They moved in perfect formations, each one exactly placed. They did not look like ships. They looked like pieces of a vast machine, all working with one mind. The Voidborn. They were beautiful in a terrible way. Black metal that seemed to drink in light. Shapes that hurt to look at. And they were fast. So fast the Coalition ships tried to fight. They fired weapons that tore space itself. They created shields that burned like small suns. But it did not matter. The Voidborn adapted. Their shields changed to match each attack. Their weapons learned to punch through each defense. It was not a battle. It was an execution. Captain, I am reading their technology, said Jinho Bayek, their engineer. His voice shook. Their shields operate on quantum frequencies we have not even discovered yet. Their weapons use exotic matter. Our missiles might as well be rocks. Our lasers might as well be flashlights. Taeyang watched the slaughter. He thought about Admiral Mireille's words. He thought about Earth so far away. He thought about the billions of people who did not know that death was spreading across the galaxy. Then he thought about something else. He thought about an old story his grandfather had told him, about a student who faced a master swordsman. The student could not match the master's skill, but the student won anyway because he did something the master never expected. Something stupid, something that made no sense, Jinho, Taeyang said slowly. What weapons do we have that they would not expect? Sir? The Voidborn adapt to advanced technology. They have fought the Coalition for 200 years. They know energy weapons. They know quantum shields. But what do they know about us? Jinho understood. His eyes went wide. They know nothing about us. We are too primitive. We are not even in their database, Doyan laughed. It was not a happy laugh. Are you saying our weakness is our strength? Maybe, Taeyang said. Contact the Coalition commander. I want to talk to them.
And I want our entire fleet to prepare for combat.
Tell the crews to load everything. The old nuclear missiles, the railguns, the chemical rockets, everything we have. Captain, those weapons are ancient, Hana said. The Coalition stopped using kinetic weapons thousands of years ago. Exactly, Taeyang said. Which means the Voidborn stopped preparing for them thousands of years ago too. Outside, the Voidborn fleet advanced. They came like a dark tide, unstoppable and certain. They had destroyed countless worlds. They had ended dozens of civilizations. They were death itself, given form and purpose. But they had never met humans before. And humans, Taeyang thought, were very good at being unpredictable. The Coalition commander appeared on screen. It was Taeyang's first time seeing one of them clearly. Velthar looked like a mantis from Earth, but bigger, with armor that shimmered like oil on water. 4 eyes glowed with exhaustion. Behind it, the bridge of its ship was on fire. Human captain. Velthar clicked. I am Velthar, shield leader of the Coalition Third Fleet. What remains of it? Why have you not fled? We came to help, Taeyang said simply. Velthar made a sound that the translator called laughter, but it sounded like breaking glass. Help? Your ships are 200 years old. Your weapons are fusion-based. Chemical drives. Primitive computers. What help can you offer against machines that have consumed 100 star systems? Maybe the kind of help you are not expecting, Taeyang replied. Neither are they. He explained his plan. Velthar listened. The alien's mandibles clicked together faster and faster. When Taeyang finished, there was a long silence. You are insane, Velthar said. Your plan is suicide. It makes no tactical sense. No strategic value. It is something a child would suggest. Yes, Taeyang agreed. That is exactly why it might work. Another pause. Somewhere on Velthar's ship, something exploded. The alien did not even turn to look. I have lost 3,000 ships today. 50,000 ships this month. 2 million crew. If you want to throw your lives away on a stupid plan, I cannot stop you. The Voidborn will kill you in minutes. But those minutes might let my people retreat. It is more than we had before. We do not plan to die, Taeyang said. We plan to make them confused. The connection cut. Taeyang turned to his crew. All ships battle formation. Hana, I need you to analyze everything we have seen about the Voidborn. How they move. How they fight. Find me a weakness. Captain, I am a xenobiologist, not a tactical officer, Hana protested. You study how aliens think, Taeyang said. These things are not alive, but they think. Show me how, Hana worked. Her fingers flew across screens, pulling up footage from the Coalition battles. She watched the Voidborn adapt. She watched them learn, and slowly she began to see a pattern. They calculate, she said. Every decision is based on probability. They scan enemy ships, measure their technology level, and assign threat values. High technology equals high threat. They focus on the biggest threats first. What about low technology? Doyan asked. They ignore it, or they assign minimal resources to it. Look here. Hana pointed at a screen. A Coalition scout ship, very old, was ignored for 40 seconds, while the Voidborn destroyed 3 battleships. The scout was not a threat by their calculations. Taeyang smiled. So if we make ourselves look like we are not a threat, they will ignore us? For a while, Hana said. But once you attack, they will reassess. They will adapt. Captain, you might get one shot at this. Maybe two. Then they will know, and they will destroy you. Then we better make those shots count. Jinho, get on the comm. I need to talk to every engineer in the fleet. Jinho connected him. Taeyang looked at the 13 ship engineers, all looking worried. Here is what I need. I need you to make our ships look like junk. I need radiation leaks. I need flickering shields. I need engine signatures that look like we are about to fall apart. Can you do that? One engineer, a young woman named Soranam, grinned. Sir, my ship actually is falling apart. I can make it look even worse. Perfect, do it. We are going to make the Voidborn think we are not worth their time. The human fleet moved forward. They did not move in perfect formation like the Coalition. They wobbled. They drifted. They looked like 13 drunk men trying to walk in a straight line. Their shields flickered on and off. Their engines sputtered. The Voidborn scanned them. The giant machine minds calculated. These new ships registered as barely functional. Technology level, primitive. Threat level, minimal. Resources allocated, none. The Voidborn ignored them and focused on the Coalition fleet. It is working, Doyen breathed. They are not shooting at us. Not yet, Taeyang said. Close to weapons range. All ships, arm missiles. The old ones. The ones with chemical explosives and nuclear warheads. The human fleet drifted closer. They looked helpless. They looked stupid, and the Voidborn did not care about them at all. Until Taeyang gave the order, fire everything. 13 ships opened fire at once. Hundreds of missiles streaked across space. Not sophisticated quantum torpedoes, not antimatter warheads, just old dumb rockets with explosive tips. The kind of weapons that the Coalition had stopped using before humans had even invented writing. The Voidborn registered the attack. Their quantum minds processed it. Threat level, minimal. These were kinetic weapons. Simple. No advanced technology detected. Defensive measures minimal. That was their mistake. The missiles hit. Nuclear fire bloomed in the void. The Voidborn's advanced shields, designed to stop energy weapons and quantum attacks, barely reacted to simple explosives. The blast tore through their perfect formations. Dozens of Voidborn drones shattered into pieces. For exactly 2.3 seconds, the Voidborn did not understand what had happened. Their calculations had been wrong. These primitive ships had hurt them. Then they adapted. Shields reconfigured. The Voidborn fleet turned toward the human ships like a predator noticing a mouse that had just bitten it. Here they come, Doyen shouted. Voidborn weapons fired. Beams of twisted space-time lanced toward the human fleet. One ship, the Soul, took a direct hit. Its shields held for half a second, then collapsed. The ship broke in half. Escape pods launched, tumbling into the dark. Evasive maneuvers. Taeyang ordered. All ships pattern random 7. Do not let them predict you. Pattern random 7 was something Admiral Mireille had invented. It was not a pattern at all. It was chaos. Each ship moved differently. They spun. They rolled. They accelerated in directions that made no sense. Human pilots, creative and panicked, moved in ways no computer could predict. The Voidborn tried to calculate. They tried to predict, but there was no pattern to predict. The humans were not following logic. They were following instinct and fear and desperation. More missiles launched. These ones were different. Jinho had modified them, making each one behave differently. Some spun, some weaved. Some looked like they were malfunctioning. The Voidborn tried to shoot them down, but their targeting systems could not decide which missiles were real threats. It is working, Hana shouted. They are confused. Their response time is slowing. Coalition fleet, this is Captain Park, Taeyang broadcast. We are creating chaos in their formation. They are distracted. If you are going to hit them, do it now, Velthar's voice came back, filled with something that might have been hope. All Coalition ships, focus fire on coordinates I am sending. The humans have given us an opening. Do not waste it. The Coalition fleet, battered and burning, turned back toward the fight. Their weapons, so much more powerful than anything humans had, struck at the confused Voidborn. For the first time in this long, terrible battle, the Voidborn were taking more damage than they could instantly repair. But it could not last. Taeyang knew that. The Voidborn were learning. Each second they adapted more. Their shields were already adjusting to both human kinetic weapons and Coalition energy weapons. Soon they would be unstoppable again. Captain, Doyen said, I am detecting something. There is a ship in the center of the Voidborn formation, bigger than the others. It is sending out signals to all the other drones. Hana looked at the data. A command ship. Or a command node. Captain, if that ship is controlling the others and if we destroy it, the drones lose coordination, Taeyang finished. How far into their formation is it? Too far, Doyun said quietly. We would never make it. Their fleet is too thick. They would destroy us before we got close. Taeyang looked at the screen. He looked at his crew. They were scared. He was scared too. But they had come too far to stop now. Then we make a path, he said. Even if we have to use ourselves to do it. Pilot Yuna Shin sat in the cockpit of her fighter and listened to Captain Park's plan. When he finished, she checked her weapons one more time. Her fighter was small, fast, and very fragile. One good hit would turn her into vapor. Sir, she said into the comm. Let me get this straight. You want us to fly directly at the Voidborn command ship, draw their fire, and then eject at the last second while our fighters crash into them on autopilot? That is exactly what I want, Taeyang said. Can you do it? Yuna looked at the other 11 fighters in her squadron. They were all listening. They were all scared. She was scared too, but she smiled anyway. We can do it, sir. But you owe us all drinks when this is over? Deal, Taeyang said. Launch when ready. The 12 fighters shot out of the Taeguk's hangar. They were tiny compared to the massive ships around them. Compared to the Voidborn drones, they were insects. But insects could sting. All fighters follow my lead, Yuna said. Spread out. Make them think we are attacking from different angles. The moment they start shooting at us, dodge like your life depends on it. Because it does, they accelerated. Space became a blur of stars. Ahead, the Voidborn fleet waited like a wall of black metal and death. Yuna could see the command ship now. It was huge, covered in towers that pulsed with light. Signals flowed from it like blood through veins, controlling all the other drones. The Voidborn noticed them. Weapons powered up. Beams of energy lanced through space. One fighter to Yuna's left exploded. The pilot had been too slow. Dodge! Yuna screamed. She threw her fighter into a spin. A beam missed her by meters. The heat made her instruments scream warnings. She ignored them. The fighters wove through the attack. 2 more died, but 9 made it through the first wave of fire. They were inside the Voidborn formation now, surrounded by enemy ships on all sides. Autopilot's armed, Yuna said. Her hands shook as she programmed the commands. On my mark, we all eject. The fighters will continue on their course. Ready, 3, 2, 1, mark. She hit the eject button. The canopy blew off. The seat rockets fired. She was thrown up and out, tumbling through space in her suit. Behind her, her fighter continued forward, its engines blazing. 9 fighters, pilotless and unstoppable, crashed into the Voidborn drones. They hit at thousands of kilometers per hour. The explosions were beautiful and terrible. Metal tore, fires bloomed. The drones tried to adapt, but you cannot adapt to being hit by a missile made of metal and determination. Eject confirmed. Yuna gasped into her suit radio. All pilots safe. Requesting pickup. Working on it, came Jinho's voice. Stay alive for 30 seconds. 30 seconds in space, surrounded by enemies, felt like 30 years. Yuna watched the Voidborn drones turn toward her. She had no weapons, no armor, just her suit and her wits. A transport ship from the Taeguk appeared, engines screaming. The pilot was crazy. He flew directly through the Voidborn fire, spinning and dodging. The cargo bay doors opened. Get in! Get in! Get in, someone yelled. Yuna fired her suit thrusters. She flew toward the transport like a bullet. Behind her, the other 8 pilots did the same. Voidborn beams cut the space around them. One pilot, a young man named Hyun Kwon, took a hit. His suit lost pressure. He would not make it. But Corpsman Woo Jin Lee was in the transport bay. He had a cable. He threw it into space with perfect aim. It wrapped around Hyun. Woo Jin pulled, muscles straining. Hyun flew into the bay unconscious but alive. All 9 pilots made it. The transport doors slammed shut. They flew back toward the Taeguk at speeds that made the ship shake. Medical team to the hangar, Woo Jin said, already working on Hyun. I need pressure bandages and oxygen. Now. On the Taeguk's bridge, Taeyang watched the fighter attack. It had worked. The path to the command ship was clearer now, but it was still suicide to try to reach it. Captain, I have an idea, Jinho said. He looked excited and terrified at the same time. A terrible idea. Tell me. We use our ships as bait. Make the Voidborn think we are their biggest threat. We leak false radiation signatures. Make it look like our ships are coalition flagships. The Voidborn will focus all their attention on us. That will get us killed, Doyen said. Yes, Jinho agreed. But while they are killing us, the coalition fleet can attack the command ship from another angle. We die, but we win. The bridge went silent. Outside, another human ship took a hit. The ship did not explode. It just went dark. Dead in space. Escape pods launched from it like seeds from a dying flower. Taeyang thought about Admiral Mirai. He thought about Earth. He thought about the billions of people who trusted him to make the right choice. Then he thought about something else. He thought about Velthar's people dying in the void. He thought about all the worlds the Voidborn had consumed. He thought about the trillions of lives that would end if they did not stop this here. Do it, Taeyang said. Jinho, make us look like the Coalition's most important ships. All ships, when the Voidborn focus on us, scatter. Make them chase you. Buy the Coalition as much time as you can. Captain, Hana said softly. This is suicide, I know. But sometimes the right choice and the smart choice are not the same thing. Jinho worked his magic. The human ships began broadcasting false signals. To the Voidborn sensors, these small primitive ships suddenly looked like Coalition dreadnoughts. Threat level maximum. Priority. Eliminate immediately. The entire Voidborn fleet turned. Thousands of drones began firing at the human ships. The universe turned into light and death. Ships scattered, each one running in different directions. The Voidborn had to split their forces to chase them. The Taeguk took a hit. Then another. Shields fell to 50%, 20%, 5%. The ship shook like it was coming apart. Hull breach on deck 3. Someone yelled. Sealing emergency doors. Keep flying, Taeyang ordered. Lead them away from the Coalition fleet. On Velthar's ship, the alien commander watched the humans die. They were running, yes. But they were running in a pattern. They were leading the Voidborn away from the command ship. Creating an opening, they are sacrificing themselves, Velthar clicked. For us. For strangers. An officer said, Shield leader, the command ship is exposed. We have a clear shot. Velthar thought about the humans, these primitive, fragile beings who should have run away, who should have been smart, but instead they stayed. They fought. They died so others could live. All ships, Velthar said, target the Voidborn command ship. Fire everything you have. The humans have bought us this chance with their blood. We will not waste it. The Coalition fleet fired. Every ship. Every weapon. All at once. A wave of destruction that lit up space like a newborn star. It struck the Voidborn command ship from 6 different angles. The command ship's shields held. Then they flickered. Then they failed. The ship began to break apart, towers crumbling, lights dying. But it was not enough. The ship was too strong. It was repairing itself even as they fired. We need a boarding party, Velthar said. Someone has to go inside and destroy it from within. Shield leader, we stopped doing boarding actions 1,000 years ago. We do not have the equipment. We do not have the training. On the Taeguk, Wu Jin had just finished saving Hyun's life. He was covered in blood and exhausted, but he heard Velthar's words over the open channel. Captain, Wu Jin said, I volunteer. I will board that ship. You are a medic, not a soldier, Taeyang said. No, sir, Wu Jin replied. Right now I am whatever we need me to be. Hyun can help. The other pilots, too. We still have breaching pods, old ones. They are designed to crack open asteroids, but they can crack open that ship, too. Taeyang looked at him, at this young man who had spent the last hour saving lives, who was now volunteering to take one of the most dangerous missions possible. Gather your team, Taeyang said. I am coming with you. Sir, the ship needs its captain, Doyen protested. The ship needs someone to lead this mission who knows what they are doing, Taeyang said. Doyen, you have command. If we do not come back, finish the job. Doyen stood and saluted. Yes, sir. Taeyang, Wu Jin, Hyun, and 6 others ran to the breaching pods. They grabbed weapons, old-fashioned firearms, plasma cutters, anything that might work inside a ship. They climbed into the pods. The doors sealed. Launch, Taeyang ordered. The pods shot toward the dying command ship like bullets. The breaching pod hit the Voidborn command ship like a hammer hitting glass. Metal screamed. The cutting torches built into the pod's nose fired automatically. They carved through the black hull. Sparks flew everywhere. Then the pod punched through and they were inside. Taeyang kicked the door open. The interior of the Voidborn ship was like nothing he had expected. There were no corridors, no rooms, just vast spaces filled with machinery that moved on its own. Towers of metal reached up into darkness. Cables thick as trees pulsed with light, and everywhere there were sounds. Clicking, humming, the sound of a billion machines thinking. Spread out, Taiyang ordered. Find the central processing core. That is what we need to destroy. They moved through the ship. It was difficult. The walls were smooth and black. There was no gravity, so they had to use magnetic boots. And worst of all, the ship knew they were there. Repair drones appeared. They looked like spiders made of knives. They scuttled along the walls, their red sensors focused on the intruders. One jumped at Wu Jin. He shot it with his rifle. The bullets tore it apart, but 3 more appeared behind it. Keep moving, Yun shouted. He threw a grenade. It was an old one, filled with simple explosives. It worked. The drones were blown backward, tumbling in the zero gravity, but more came. Dozens, then hundreds. The Voidborn ship was trying to remove them like antibodies attacking a virus. There, one of the pilots shouted. He pointed at a doorway. Through it, they could see a massive chamber. In the center floated a sphere covered in circuitry. Lights flowed across its surface like lightning. It was beautiful and horrible. That is it, Taiyang said. That is the central processor. That is what controls this entire ship. They ran toward it. The drones tried to stop them. Wujin shot 2. Hyun tackled another, wrestling with it in midair until he could tear its circuits out with his bare hands. One drone hit a pilot named Jinho Baek. Its blade-like legs went through his armor. Jinho screamed but kept fighting. He grabbed the drone and crushed it against the wall. They made it to the chamber. Taeyang looked at the central processor. It was huge. Their bullets would not scratch it. Their grenades would bounce off it. They needed something stronger. We need to get inside it, Sora Nam said. She was with them. She was not a soldier. She was just an engineer. But she understood machines better than anyone. If we can access the core, I can plant a virus. It will not destroy the processor, but it will confuse it. Make it unable to coordinate the drones. How do we get inside? Taeyang asked. Sora pointed at cables connecting to the sphere. We follow those. They lead inside. The cables were as thick as a person. They pulsed with energy. Touching them would mean death. But at the base of each cable was a junction box. A place where the cables connected to the sphere's surface. Cover me, Sora said. She pulled out a plasma cutter and began working on one of the junction boxes. The drones attacked in waves. The team formed a circle around Sora, firing at everything that moved. Taeyang's rifle overheated. He dropped it and grabbed a metal bar from the floor. When a drone came close, he swung at it like a baseball bat. The drone broke into pieces. Beside him, Hyun was down to his sidearm. He was breathing hard. Blood leaked from a wound in his leg. But he kept shooting. How much longer? He shouted. Almost there, Sora replied. The junction box opened. Inside was a mess of circuits and light. I need to get in there. Someone has to hold the door open. Wu Jin grabbed the heavy door. His muscles strained. The door tried to close automatically. It was designed to seal itself if damaged. But Wu Jin would not let it. Go, I have got it. Sora crawled inside. It was cramped and hot. The circuits were alive, sparking and moving. She pulled out a small device from her pocket. It looked like an old computer drive, something you would find in a museum. It was so outdated that it did not even use quantum computing. It used binary code, ones and zeros, the simplest form of computing ever invented. She plugged it into one of the circuits. The virus loaded. It was not sophisticated. It was actually stupid. It was malware from the 21st century, updated to run on alien technology. It should not work. It made no sense. But the Voidborn central processor had never encountered anything like it. The processor tried to analyze the virus. It tried to understand its purpose. But the virus was too simple, too primitive. The processor's quantum mind could not comprehend something so basic. It was like asking a mathematician to solve a problem written in a language that did not exist yet. The virus spread. Not fast, not destructively, but quietly. It changed small things. Made the processor think one drone was in a different position. Made it send the wrong orders to 3 drones over here. Made it forget about 17 drones over there. The Voidborn system began to glitch. Outside the ship, Doyen watched from the Taeguk's bridge. The Voidborn fleet was still fighting. But something was wrong with them. Their formations were breaking up. Drones were colliding with each other. Some were flying in circles. Some had stopped moving entirely. "What is happening?" Hana asked. "They are confused," Doyen said. He started laughing. "The boarding team did it. They are actually doing it." Inside the command ship, alarms were going off. The chamber was shaking. Sora pulled herself out of the junction box. "We need to leave now. This ship is going to try to purge the virus. It will vent the entire section into space." They ran. The chamber doors began closing. Taeyang grabbed Jinho, who was barely conscious from his wounds. Hyun grabbed Sora. They ran as fast as they could in the zero gravity, pulling themselves along walls and cables. Behind them, the chamber doors slammed shut. Air began rushing out through vents. If they had been 5 seconds slower, they would have died, but they were not slower. They were faster, because humans, when scared enough, could do impossible things. They made it back to the breaching pods. But there was a problem. The pods were designed to get in, not get out. They could not launch from inside the ship. "We are trapped," someone said. Taeyang thought fast. "Wujin, do you still have those explosives?" "A few grenades, yes. Set them on the hull. Right here. We are going to blow a hole to the outside." "Sir, that will vent all the air. We will be sucked out into space, I know." "That is the plan. We blow the hole. The air pressure shoots us out like bullets. Then someone from the fleet picks us up. Maybe." It was a terrible plan. It might kill them. But staying would definitely kill them. They set the charges. Everyone grabbed onto something. Taeyang counted down. 3, 2, 1. The explosion tore through the hull. Air rushed out with incredible force. The team was pulled through the hole and thrown into space. They tumbled, spinning, unable to control their movement. Around them, the Voidborn fleet was in chaos. Ships were crashing into each other. The command ship itself was dying, lights flickering, towers collapsing. "This is Taeyang." He gasped into his suit radio. "Boarding team is outside the command ship. We need immediate pickup. We are floating and have no propulsion." "Working on it, Captain," Doyen said. "Hold tight. In space, with no air, no ship, and no way to control where you go, holding tight is all you can do." Taeyang watched his team spinning around him. They were alive. Against all odds, they were alive. A transport appeared. It was flying crazy, dodging debris and voidborn fire. The pilot was screaming something about regulations and safety protocols and how this was the stupidest rescue he had ever attempted, but he did it anyway. One by one, the transport's tractor beam grabbed the team members. It was not gentle. The beam pulled them hard enough to hurt, but it pulled them in. All of them. Even Jinho, who had passed out from blood loss, they were safe. They were alive. And behind them, the Voidborn command ship finally died. It broke apart in silence, pieces drifting into the void. Without its coordination, the Voidborn fleet was nothing but individual drones. Dangerous but not unstoppable, the Coalition fleet pressed forward. For the first time in this long war, they were winning. Velthar watched from the bridge. The alien commander looked at the remaining human ships. Only 4 out of 13 were still functional. Hundreds of humans had died today, and yet they were celebrating. They were cheering. They had won. "I do not understand them," Velthar said quietly. "They should not have survived. Their plan should not have worked. They should have run away, but they stayed. They fought. They won. How?" An officer replied, "Perhaps that is what makes them dangerous, Shield Leader. They do not know when they should lose." The battle was not over. The Voidborn command ship was destroyed, yes, but thousands of drones still remained. They were confused and uncoordinated, but they were still deadly. The Coalition fleet pressed the attack. Every ship that could still fire did so. The Voidborn drones fell back slowly at first, then faster. They were retreating. On the battered Taeguk, Taeyang sat in the captain's chair and tried not to fall asleep. He had not slept in 30 hours. His body hurt everywhere, but he could not rest yet. Not until it was finished. "Casualty report," he said quietly. Hana looked at her screens. Her voice was sad. "Out of the 13 ships that came with us, only 4 are still operational. The Seoul, the Busan, the Gwangju, and us. The others are either destroyed or too damaged to fight. We have lost 317 crew members. Another 192 are injured. 317. Taeyang thought about each number. Each one was a person. Someone who had family back on Earth. Someone who had dreams. Someone who would never go home. What about the coalition? He asked. They have lost 60% of their fleet here, but because of us, they did not lose everything. They are estimating we saved over 1 million lives today. 1 million lives for 317. The math was clear, but it did not make Taeyang feel better. Every loss hurt. Captain, incoming transmission from Shield Leader Velthar, Doyen said. Velthar appeared on screen. The alien looked different now. Tired, yes, but also something else. Respectful. Captain Park, Velthar clicked. I owe you an apology. When you first arrived, I called you primitive. I said you could not help. I was wrong. You and your crew saved us. You saved the galaxy. I do not have words in my language for what you have done, but I will try. Thank you, Taeyang nodded. You are welcome. But we are not done yet. The Voidborn are retreating, but they are not destroyed. They will regroup. They will come back. Perhaps, Velthar agreed. But today they learned something. They learned that evolution is not just about technology. It is also about spirit, about the refusal to give up. They learned about humans. The transmission ended. Around them, the coalition fleet was forming up. Ships that had been scattered were coming together. Repair drones were already working on the damage. Life was continuing. Captain, Hana said, I am getting a transmission from Earth. It is Admiral Mirai. The Admiral appeared. She looked like she had aged 10 years. Captain Park, I have received your report. Earth Command has reviewed everything. The casualties. The risks you took. The fact that you went against orders and engaged an enemy force you had no hope of defeating. Taeyang waited. He was going to be court-martialed. He knew that. He had made decisions that got people killed. That was the price of command, but Mirai smiled. You did good, Captain. You did very good. Earth is proud of you. I am proud of you. You showed the galaxy what humans are capable of, and because of that, the Coalition has sent us an official message. They want to meet with Earth's leaders. They want to form an alliance. We are no longer primitives in their eyes. We are equals. With respect, Admiral, I do not care what they think of us, Taeyang said. I only care that we saved lives today. Mirai's smile grew wider. That is exactly why you are the right person for this job.
Get your crew home safe, Captain.
You have all earned a rest. The screen went dark. Taeyang looked at his bridge crew. They were smiling. Even Doyen, who never smiled, was grinning like an idiot. All ships, Taeyang said over the fleet channel. Plot a course for home. It is time to go back to Earth. But before they could leave, something happened. The Coalition fleet began moving. They formed 2 lines, creating a corridor through space. Every ship in the fleet turned to face the human ships. What are they doing? Doyen asked. Then they understood. The Coalition ships were saluting. In their own ways, according to their own customs, they were showing respect. Some ships fired their weapons into empty space in ceremonial volleys. Some flashed their lights in patterns. Some simply turned their bows toward the humans and held position. It was a funeral honor, a warrior's tribute, the kind of respect the Coalition only gave to their greatest heroes. Taeyang felt tears in his eyes. He was not ashamed of them. All human ships returned the salute. Fire 1 volley each, for the crew we lost, for the Coalition soldiers who died beside us, for everyone who fought here today. The 4 remaining human ships fired. Old missiles streaked into space and detonated in bursts of light. It was not fancy, it was not sophisticated, but it was honest. And that was enough. The human fleet began to move through the corridor. As they passed, Velthar's ship sent one final message. Go home, humans. Tell your people what happened here. Tell them that the galaxy knows your name now. And when the Voidborn return, we will be ready. Together. The jump to faster-than-light speed was rough. The Taeguk was damaged and the engines were not running properly. But they made it. Space twisted around them, and Earth's solar system appeared ahead. Home. They could see the blue planet growing larger, the moon beside it, the sun behind it. Everything looked so peaceful, so far from the war they had just left. The fleet was met by dozens of Earth ships. They came to escort the survivors home. News crews wanted interviews. Scientists wanted data. Politicians wanted to claim credit. But Admiral Mirai put a stop to all of it. They are heroes, she said over an open channel. They are also exhausted. Let them land. Let them rest. The galaxy will still be here tomorrow. The Taeguk landed at the Seoul spaceport. The crew walked out on shaky legs. There were crowds waiting. Thousands of people cheering, flags waving, music playing. It was overwhelming. Taeyang saw families reuniting with their loved ones. He saw Woojin being hugged by his parents. He saw Yuna signing autographs for children who thought she was the coolest person alive. He saw Hyun in a wheelchair, his leg bandaged, talking to reporters about the battle. And he saw the empty spaces. The crew members who would never walk out of a ship again. The families who waited but would never see their loved ones come home. Hana walked up beside him. She looked at the crowd. Then she looked at him. Was it worth it? She asked. Taeyang thought about the question. He thought about the 317 people they had lost. He thought about the 1,000,000 lives they had saved. He thought about the Voidborn, still out there, still dangerous. He thought about the Coalition now calling humans their allies. I do not know, he said honestly. Ask me again in 100 years. Ask the children who will grow up because we stopped the Voidborn today. Ask the Coalition species who still have homes because we fought. I cannot tell you if it was worth it. But I can tell you it was necessary. Hana nodded. What happens now? Now we rest. We heal. We remember the people we lost. And then when the galaxy needs us again, we answer. Because that is what humans do. We explore. We discover. We dream. But when someone needs help, we become something more. We become heroes, even when we do not want to be. Far above, in orbit around Earth, Coalition ships were arriving. Diplomats, scientists, soldiers. They came to meet with humanity. To learn from them. To teach them. The galaxy was opening up to Earth in ways that no one had imagined. On the streets of Seoul, a child asked her father, "Are the aliens scary?" The father, who had watched the battle on the news, smiled. "No, sweetie. The aliens are not scary, but I think maybe, just maybe, they are a little scared of us. And that is okay, because now they know. If you need help, you call the humans. We might not be the strongest. We might not be the smartest, but we show up. Every time." No matter what, Taeyang heard that conversation as he walked past. It made him smile. The child was right. The father was right. That was what humans did. They showed up. He looked up at the stars. The Voidborn were still out there. They would come back someday. But when they did, they would find something different. They would find humans and the Coalition standing together. They would find a galaxy that had learned to fight in new ways. They would find hope. And hope, Taeyang thought, was the most dangerous weapon of all. He walked toward his family, who were waiting in the crowd. His mother was crying. His father was trying not to. His sister was jumping up and down with excitement. He hugged them all, and for a moment the war felt very far away, but only for a moment. Because tomorrow they would start preparing. Tomorrow they would train. Tomorrow they would build new ships and new weapons. Tomorrow, they would teach the Coalition about human stubbornness, but today they would rest. Today they would remember. Today they would celebrate being alive because they were human. And humans knew how to do one thing better than any species in the galaxy. They knew how to hope. Even when hope seemed impossible, especially then.